I'm still recording. Hi, this is Child Development 107. This is our intro class for the spring 22 semester. This is a 12-week class, slightly accelerated, but these are our synchronistic meetings that will happen in this Zoom room every Tuesday, 10:15. Great, let's get started. Now, the reason I set up a lot of stuff for the first week, which is like an intro week, and we will go through all of it. I'm going to share the screen. We go through a lot of things. Let's make sure that I have my, hold on one sec. Let me share first. There we go. There's the syllabus. Let me get on the dashboard so you guys can see what it looks like. Let's do this before I share. Okay, so share, we're going to share just the dashboard this way. Okay, good. All right, so you guys can all see my dashboard. Now, all of our dashboards are going to look different based on the classes that you have, right? But our class here, I kind of made it like a teal green. And I think that's how it shows up on yours. I'm not sure if you guys can change that color, but that does correspond to the calendar. It does correspond to the calendar. So you have this calendar, should have all your classes. And so that is not it. Let's get our green one. It is this one. Yay. So I did spend some time trying to update these due dates because our class changed a lot. So apologies if these are not perfect. I'm still working on them. So technically our class opened yesterday. And that's why I just put these 11:59, hey, read me kind of situations. Once you click on that page, it comes off your to-do list. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that to-do list, I'll walk you through it in a sec. So these chapter 3 have to move down, but this week is good. We have prep, and then we have what's due on Sunday. That's pretty much it for the week. And I will walk through the actual module of each piece just to make sure we're okay. And then bear with me as I shuffle the rest of the dates. So next week, we're going to do in chapter 1. It starts off on Monday mornings at 8. I open the module. If you need that earlier, I'm okay with that. Let me know. I can open them Sundays. Every chapter starts with an intro and like, here's the reading. Also, by Wednesday, I say these are the subsections of the reading. So this particular chapter has a 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. I'm saying like by Wednesday, maybe get that in, because I also make a strong suggestion to get your first discussion board posted by Wednesday. You should be able to do that if you read all the stuff. Now, again, that's not a real due date. That's just like a, hey, read me, right? That's 11:59. That's a, hey, read me. Once you read it, it's done. You can do all that on Tuesday. You can do all of it on Monday. You can do all of it on Thursday. It's not the end of the world. Like it won't tell me when you did it. It's just a reading. Read it, right? So again, based on your work schedule and your other classes and things like that. And so make sure you're I put these dates in and I call them target dates, and we'll go over that policy in depth. But at the same time, I'm a huge supporter of life isn't always hard and fast. I mean, there are certain due dates in life, and if you miss them, there's consequences. Like, taxes or bills or credit cards or whatnot. Like, we're here to literally mirror life, right? We're not in a research facility. We're not, people say like, oh, college isn't real life. No, this is real life. So if you're going to be late on certain things, just keep me in the loop. I do not freak out on those sorts of things. Even if it's like an exam, I don't take points off. We'll go into that more in depth. The moral of that story is just stay in contact with me. And however you want to do that in the inbox or you want to do that in Pronto, it's fantastic. Okay, so let me get to the actual class. That's the calendar. I do love the calendar. And yeah, give me a couple days to get those things, because I literally have to open each one, change the day, close it. Like it's like just takes forever. Okay, so when we click on our class, I have a temporary homepage right now. And after today, I'll move this. This is just trying to get everybody on the same page. And yes, this class is Tuesdays, not Mondays. But again, to me, the work week is Monday through Sunday. You will have the module available on Monday. And again, if you need to request it on Sunday, please let me know. You're going to see all these things that, this is the navigation. Anytime you're seeing my screen, you're going to see some stuff down here that you guys don't need to see. We don't use it. We can use it, but yeah, it's up to you. Your to-do list is going to be over here. Mine looks like a bunch of grading. But what I suggest to people is when you get into a Canvas class, just go down all the tabs. Get click everything, start getting into things, right? Announcements are announcements. Make sure you are getting those announcements though. Sometimes for whatever reason, it's going into a spam folder or something like that. If you noticed, I start all of mine with CDEV 107. And yes, I do put holidays in there ahead of time. So, but I have to move some of these dates around too, because, you know, the class started a month later. So here's your syllabus. This is pretty much where you want to start, like this, the starting block right here. When you click here, you're going to get a PDF version. And then I also copied and pasted it down here. So it's pretty much the same thing. I know most students don't have access to printers, but I do print out a copy. I have one over here. I certainly do. But at the same time, however you need to navigate this class is however you need to navigate this class. Some people like it with hard copies, some people like it with digital copies. And so I try to make everything in this class available by hard copy and digital copy. So you'll see lectures that are PDF and the PowerPoint, and then my video, and then maybe the publisher's video. So again, I know people have different devices. I know people sometimes are taking classes on their phone only because they don't have a device. As a reminder, we do have a laptop loaner program. I've borrowed a laptop from them. They're HP. They're pretty decent. So don't hesitate to utilize the services here on campus. But again, however you need to make this class, like again, I call it a choose your own adventure. And I'm not sure if you can see this because I know sometimes with the background. So you can have your full syllabus this way. You can have it here, however you need to do it. Let's see. All right, so let's just questions so far. Syllabus, Canvas. Putting those two together right now. Jump in. I don't, obviously, you see I'm somewhat casual. You don't have to like raise your hand. You don't like, just jump in or just say, hey, I have a question, or you can raise your hand. You can put it in chat. Again, whatever's comfortable and whatever's easiest for you. So let's do a top down. So we have 12 weeks to do our class, which is not a problem. I have combined a few things. I've been mindful of like smaller chapters to put together. It doesn't always line up that way, but we're going to try. With the syllabus, there's also that schedule, and we'll go over that as well. And I do have the document here. So our oh no, this is 110. Hold on. Let me do this. Okay, I'm going to stop share for a second, and I'm going to pause the recording. Adobe. So I have Adobe kind of yelling at me right now too. So perhaps. Oh yeah. So let's see. No, it's not going to let me. Hold on. For some reason, Adobe is like being a super duper taskmaster. So let's see if I have another way of sharing that syllabus. Let's, in the meantime, let's do Canvas. Let's share Canvas and go that way. Okay. Making this bigger, share screen. Okay, good. All right. So now again, our book, number one, our book is in a module and it is free. I am so happy that, you know, one of our new pushes here in child development is making our core 8 classes to have all OER books. There are some limitations to that, but we are trying to make all the books free. So again, books are not a barrier, right? Books are not a barrier. This first week, you're going to see all these. The only thing that you guys can see so far is the book, open educational textbook. It's in here and it is free. It takes you to a link for, is this, yeah, LibreText. This is our book. This is all the chapters, right? You can look ahead. You can even look at ancillary materials and back matter. Get comfortable with everything that you have at your disposal. And here's a little trick. Even though I gave you the link to our book, you can always go back to early childhood education and see what else, right? So we have infant toddler, which is 116. We have 116 A and B in here. I think we have 111 A and B in here. We have diversity, the class 221 in here. We have 111 A and B. We have music and art we're going to be offering in the summer. Hopefully you guys will take those. I believe we also have observation and assessment in here, and we are adding to these all the time. So this is a new piece for California community colleges that we want to make sure that you guys have. So again, our book, takes us right there, but I just left that in a module so you guys could play around. Hopefully you guys got comfortable with that over the last month while we were waiting for the class to start. So when I say start here, I literally mean start here. This one up here that says end of term assignments, I'll share that after we get started in a few weeks, but like you don't see it right now because I haven't published it. I usually keep it way down here. In fact, I will just bump that down here just so you have it. And I will give you a heads up for chapter 1 as well. So start here. Yes, you have all these different things going on. So I'm pretty sure I updated all, yeah, all the dates look pretty good. So what I try to do is have people start with their technology. I'm not going to read every page for you, but what happens is if you don't know Canvas and you're not comfortable with Canvas and you haven't set up at least your profile picture, that gives me a clue that maybe Canvas is still a challenge, right? And that's okay, because again, technology is where it's like a different language, right? You may have come from a different university that used Blackboard, or you've never used this. I mean, let's put in perspective. When I was in graduate school, I didn't have a computer or a cell phone, and it still existed. There's millions of people who got a graduate degree without a computer or cell phone. So I had none of this teach as a student, but now as a teacher and a student now on this format for Canvas, I'm very particular about it matching up and everything being predictable, clean, calm. So if those things aren't happening on your end, you're just like, that rolled out at the wrong time, or that's in the wrong place, or I don't understand and how it's whatever, you let me know and I want to make things right. That's my goal. I do hold multiple certifications in online teaching. I'm considered a Canvas ambassador. I am like a peer supporter here on campus for other faculty who need support. But at the same time, there's always more things to learn and know. Okay, good. So you see that I have sections here. First, get your tech ready. Second is before you begin, where are you at? Because I could tell you right now, we're all still stressed and trying to make things happen. So when we're stressed, we're not learning. But this is just kind of like touching base with who you are as a person before you are a student. It's very important to me. I also run the Resilience Focused Education Initiative here, which is new, because that concept of this is a human being before it is a student, I think some people have forgotten that. So we want to make sure that you know, as a student, we value you as a person who happens to be taking classes with us and not the other way around. So again, if you ever have questions about your like self-care and things like that, reach out to me. I'm no longer a therapist. I do have training in therapy, but I'm no longer a therapist. I'm your professor, but I can connect you to people who can really, really help. I'm a great listener, but when it comes to like help, I can connect you. I'm also on the care team here. I'm also on the equity, diversity. I'm on all the pieces here that focus on students first, as human beings first. Okay. So managing your mindset, self-care, there's a quick little quiz. Nobody needs to see that. It's just for you. I took it and I was like, I need to pick up a hobby and learn how to like, do some nicer things for myself, because I was burnt out when I took that. Time management, this is a cool place for you just to share your tips and tricks. It's more like class participation. It's not exactly grading bearing, but you can see what other students have in there as well. Get ready, watch these videos. This is like, hi, this is me. Greetings and welcome. This tells you like a little bit more about me. A lot of people like to know, well, how does she know this stuff? And where did she come from? It's all in there. And then the same thing, policies. I have the same policies for in the syllabus, but I kind of expanded a little bit. Again, my philosophy on attending Zoom meetings, that you don't have to have your video on, but if you do, please make sure you are properly dressed and not like horking down a bunch of food or having a bunch of people walk behind you. When in doubt, just shut off your video, right? Haven't really had any issues, but every once in a while there's, somebody who's, not as professional as they could be, let's just say. Now this part is where you're going to watch some videos. Some of these can be a little bit more serious, but again, we have some fun things in here about keeping your boundaries as a college student, and how as a college student, you are protected under Title IX, even at work. Title IX is that discrimination based on sex, gender, and things like that. Even if you're at work, you're off campus and somebody's harassing you, you are still protected under Title IX as a California community college student. What? So if you ever have questions on that, again, please bring that to me. This last piece, these are all due Sunday. These are some point bearing, like fun little quizzes, right? And one discussion board. So you have this to do for the rest of the week. I will give you sneak peeks on how to get ahead as well. And I might take a vote. I might give you guys the bonus since you're here is to take a vote whether I let you see chapter 1 like starting today instead of waiting till Sunday. It's up to you. We'll do that at the end. Okay, so our first, I will go through these so you guys can see what they look like. So this is like an intro discussion board, and I think most professors have a version of this, but one of my colleagues turned me on to like, hey, share your pictures. Share your pictures. Anybody support? No, nobody did yet. So let's see. Let me see if I can find mine. Let me see if I can find mine because I have one that I created for. Let's see. Now you could see. I don't know if it's. I called it a poster. Yes, I did. Okay, good. Let me just start the discussion board while we're here together. So a lot of you already got this part down, but if you're not sure, this is all you have to do. You have to just hit reply. That's it. You hit reply. What's happening is that creates your own thread. And what happens is, so when you hit reply to the board, you are now creating your own thread. If you hit reply to your friend and put reply, now your post is under their name. It's a little bit funky, and most people get this right, but so just hit reply under the board. And then when you're replying to your friends, that's replying under their name. That's different, right? So let me see if I can upload. So for me to upload a poster, I need to, I can either do it as a document. Yeah, I'll upload a document because it is a picture. Again, I cannot have you embed. I can't have you embed just a link. It needs to be an embedded picture, not just a link. So let me see if here it's called poster. Let me see. I think that's what I put it. No, let me see. That's not. That was under that. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Yay, poster. There we go. Let's do this one. It's a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Lots of stuff in here. Lots of stuff in here. And I just, for me, I said 5 pictures, but for me, I put each picture as a collage because that's where I'm at. So let's put that in here, and it tells you a lot more about me. So yours does not have to be this detailed. Don't do that, right? But what I'm suggesting is, go to Canva and upload your pictures, and you get to see a picture of my little punky doodles in there. My son, my fluffy daughter, and like some of the other stuff that I do, things like that. So what you do is you put your poster, your pictures in your poster and describe it, and then go back and kind of connect to your other classmates. I look for 2. It's always better to do more, right? Because I can always give extra points on everything. The only thing I can't give extra points on is a quiz. On a test, I can give extra points because there's an essay. On a journal, on notes, on a reflection, everything. I can do extra points. Show me what you got. I'm going to post that for now. You guys can look at that, and then I'll put a little explanation in there. And then to answer this person, you would see the reply under their name. That's where you do it, right? Because now this is my thread, and then anybody who responds to that goes like that. But it has to start as a thread to the response. Good? Make sense? Any questions on that? Let's go back to the beginning module. Again, it's called Start Here. And we're going to scroll to the bottom. That was the personal pictorial introduction. And then we have a syllabus as Canvas scavenger hunt, meaning get your syllabus out. Learn Canvas is going to ask you questions like, what is the 24-hour helpline for Canvas? There, hint, hint, hint. It's at the bottom, right over here, like right here, where it says help. I'm going to click it really fast. There's that. Sorry, that. Look in there. So questions like that, how many weeks, how many chapters, things like that. So pretty straightforward. And at the end of everything, you can always just hit the next button too. You don't have to go back and whatever. Also, this history button will tell you where you've been for your last like 10 pages. Pretty awesome, yeah? Academic honesty agreement is something new that I put in last semester. A lot of people think that Chegg can take my class. Nope, I'm not doing that. For those of you who have taken my classes before, I do rely heavily on your opinion. So if you have to go research your opinion or ask Chegg for your opinion, that's a problem for you, okay? Don't cheat in this class. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Okay. So again, this is like a quick little quiz. It's 10 points. Take it as many, look at no time limit. Take it as many times as you want. I do that for all of my tests and quizzes, right? So if it's a quiz and it's out of 10 points, it's on you to get those 10 points or not. Not everyone wants 10 points. It's fine. This Are You Really Ready survey is just really a checklist. Did you watch those videos? Did you do the scavenger hunt? Did you get your, that kind of stuff? Pretty straightforward. That's, again, more like a checklist for you. And lastly, I have this new piece I call the secret to your success. I firmly believe that you need to know yourself and how you study best, when you study best, how your brain works, things like that. We're trying to adapt brain knowledge. So do you guys remember, like in elementary school or even kindergarten, I mean, preschool, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, right? That's a developmentally appropriate way to say, hey, we're going to start learning about our body. Around, first grade, we start learning about, science and butterflies and the growth cycle and growing a bean in a cup and blah, 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 all these things. Why aren't we learning about our own brain? So as child development, we are incorporating brain knowledge into all our curriculum. So not only our college curriculum, but our curriculum for preschoolers. Yeah. So this right now, the secret to your success has a little bit of that. How do you learn? What are you like? Things like that. And so short answers on this one. It helps me get to know you a little bit more in case, let's say one of the questions in there is like, how do I know? Basically, maybe you're not doing well. You're falling off. You've lost your concentration, your motivation. How would I know that? And how would you like me to best reach out to you? Yeah, I will give you my cell phone. We can talk on the phone. It just has to be within reason. I don't do it too late, not always on the weekends and whatnot. So we'll figure something out. But again, this one automatically gives people points just for doing it. And so this jumps right to our book. But so let's go back to our beginning module here. I'll go into history modules. Okay. And so again, this whole first introductory start here, this is what we do this week. So if you've gone all the way through 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, oh, this one is supposed to be 4.5. Let me edit that right now. See, this is what I'm talking about. I think it needs to be organized and predictable. Once you get through that, again, you can do all this stuff early. It's not hard to do. It just really gets us ready. Get comfortable with the book. Now, this next module is 100% more like, consider it like the closet in your house where you put all the stuff. Like it's, there's a lot of stuff in here. And I did put this thing in here that says like, hey, read me, March 11th, right? Just, hey, read me. It just tells you why I even put this stuff in here. So again, with my organizational skills that sometimes come and sometimes go, I like to collect information. I bookmark stuff. I bookmark a ton of stuff in YouTube. I like using history, like all these things. Like, to me, collecting knowledge, and to me, education is not just from a book. You can collect knowledge all over the world. I mean, we have the internet in our cell phone. All the knowledge of the known universe is in our hand. So I tend to share things, use it or don't. It doesn't always land for you. So like, for example, some of these are, handouts. So if you see this paper clip, that's like a document. DocX will tell you that. But this link is usually a URL, right? And so this is in part of the intro module, but it's, in case somebody missed it, it's still here, right? Here's another cool video. These are not mandatory, but poke around. So, and I put it in these little sections: mindset, technology. Again, we will use Portfolio at the end. Grammarly.com, I highly suggest, but Speech Notes is typed to text. It's fantastic. So things like that. Again, not mandatory, but I'll walk you through the stuff that you will need to know. Spelling and grammar. I have a lot of people who still don't. I know plenty of adults who don't get there. Outlines. How to do outlines. We will have outlines every week. Okay. Some of our weeks, we'll have 2 chapters. Yes, 2 outlines. So however you can do that the most efficiently and the most cognitively to where you can understand the material. FYI, I use Speech Notes websites. Boom. I do an audio and it picks up. This website will pick up Malala Yousafzai and Vygotsky. So winner, they win. And it's free. You should never have to pay for anything in a class unless that's either in the catalog or that it's on the syllabus. And this class I'm trying to make is whatever supplies you want, they're on you. Even when we're face-to-face, I provide all the supplies. So outlines, we will have outlines every week. Study guides, how to hack your essay. That means that every exam does have an essay, and we'll go through that. Trauma-informed practices. Again, I want to support you guys as human beings before students. Self-care, huge, 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 huge. This is my actual yogi. She has been featured in Shape magazine. She is a inclusive and a plus size, super awesome yogi. She's like 6 feet tall, like big girl, beautiful. So I'm telling you, yoga's not for everybody, but if you would care to join, she has stuff on Insta, Facebook. She was with Everybody LA. She has her own app, the whole thing. So super, super duper awesome. Extra credit, we can talk about this later, but if you attend an event or you watch a documentary, give me a 2-page paper on it, double spaced APA, format, prove that you were there, 5 points, right? Who couldn't use extra 5 points? That won't make or break you, but just in case, let's say you didn't turn in a quiz, like, okay, well, that's 10 points. Maybe you want to do 2 of those and you're equals, right? Future teacher resources. I put a bunch of things here too. So again, this is all you guys have so far, but I will walk you through chapter 1 if you're interested. Let's take it, let's take a little beat right here. Oh, FYI, required workshops. I will have those up in a couple weeks. That's up to the library. They give me links for the Canvas classes. You just take these little mini courses, show me your certificate, and yeah, and you're done. It's on, what do I have here? Yeah, self-paced APA citation workshop. We are trying to formalize community college students to be get ready for your transfer. So we're going to learn all that stuff in here too. Okay, so we have a prep module, we have a book module, we have supportive information. You can take it or leave it. Workshops will come later. How are we doing? I will take 3 questions before we move forward. Wait, what? Okay, in chat I have, okay, Edith will be right back. This is my trick that I use in class. I stare at people until they ask me a question. The most random questions of all, I will take. How about random questions on anything, like Canvas, bookstore, missions and rec, like anything? Or how about this? Let's do this. To release you from the obligation of asking a question, please put in the chat, I do not have any questions at this time. Something like that. So I know for sure that I'm not missing you guys. Like there's not an audio glitch or anything like that. So in the chat. In the chat. Or even out loud, it's up to you. Let me know if you have a question or you do not have a question. You have to acknowledge one or the other. Katie, are you just going to say it out loud? I have a question for all of you. Did you guys apply for your free money at the bookstore? $300. I was like, wait, maybe I need to take a class. Seriously, I looked up photography, art, yoga, sign language, Spanish. I was all.
Sorry, my internet got kicked out, so I don't know what you were asking me. I'm sorry.
I was just asking the class if you have any questions. I will move forward.
No, I don't.
Okay, good. So yeah, that's what I'm asking. If you don't have a question, button it up with I don't have a question. That's what I'm asking for the whole class. So if you're here, either say I have a question or I don't have a question. That will tell me that you are paying attention. Kind of gives me a clue. I can assume, especially if this happens, I can tell you, your professors know this. When we end the meeting and you're still present, chances are you weren't present like the whole time. So that's like a clue, right? That's why your teachers will ask you in the middle of the class, hey, are you awake? Hey, what's going on? So I am assuming right now I'm only really talking to Katie. That's who I can see, and that's users. I see chats. Oh, I see chats. Okay, good. All right, so let's see. Miguel said no questions right now. Thank you, thank you. Natalie said no questions right now. Yeah, Itzel, did I answer your question? Do you have a question? Oh, the bookstore. Okay, seriously, let me, while we're here, the bookstore. I'm gonna take you right to the. I'm gonna write to. Okay, no, Itzel, I did. Oh, I think that's, yeah, she worked it. Okay, so I'm gonna go straight to our main site here. Can you guys see that? Can you see our SEC website? Are we still on Canvas? Let me do new share. Okay, good. Okay, good. You can see it. So you're going to see the front page kind of scroll around and scroll around and scroll around, this kind of stuff. And you can either wait for it to scroll to what you want or move forward. Right? Classes available. What happens here matters. Oh, there was they had a big one. They had a big banner right here that said, hey, do you need help? Financial aid. So what you do is right here, look at this one. This is a lot of things that people don't know here too. Emergency relief funds. And people go, well, maybe I'm not having an emergency right now, but the prices of gas, listen, we don't ask you much. We just kind of assume that everybody has been faced with COVID and has been displaced in some respect. So if you just click on emergency relief funds, it doesn't hurt to ask questions. This can go up to $2,000. Wait, what? Yeah, I can only like plant the seed, but personal expenses includes gas, food, housing, rent. Look at this. Gas, there's gas, supplies, books, school fees, childcare. Right? And you know what? I think you have to be taking one whole class. It's up to, I mean, it kind of depends on like if you're taking like 4 classes or whatnot, but keep going, keep looking at these resources. So just go straight to the seccollege.edu and look at, just click around. Oh, online support, COVID infrared technology, educational opportunities, online resource, all this stuff. So the bookstore, they used to have like a really big obvious link here. I'm hoping they didn't run out of money, but what they were offering, let's see if I can find it here. There we go, bookstore. What they were offering was $300 for any student who applied. Oh, and by the way, if you show your proof of vaccination, it was another $200. Wait, what? So I think I'm taking a class to get an extra $500. Come on, that'd be awesome. So again, you can click through here. Oh yeah, this is pretty awesome. Maybe I need to go shopping later. You can click through here and see what they have. But again, get help right here at the very bottom. Get help paying for your textbooks. I think this is the link we're looking for. Yeah, get help paying for your textbooks. Book voucher, Pell Grant, Cal Grant, work study, other scholarships. If you are also an education person, we have the Pathways to Teaching. So whether you want to go into preschool or K-12, we have this Pathways to Teaching program in the e-building, and there's a bunch of books in there too. Certain classes that will give you a free book. Yeah, because books are ridiculous, and even if it's just a borrow, it's just a borrow. So you give it back, but it's fantastic. I think it's a fantastic program. So there's always things around here. I also got a flyer recently, it was yesterday, for tutoring for this class. And so again, in the e-building, we have the first year support center, and then there's a Pathways to Teaching program, and they have these really nice, like a face-to-face tutor who can help you with certain things. So I'll send that flyer out later. What else can I answer for you guys? That was one question from Miguel. 2 more questions. Okay, let's see in the chat. Oh, on the Canvas it says, I see there's 3 assignments are due on the 6th. Nah. Give me a sec to fix those due dates. Those are the old due dates from when the class started a month ago. But I had to go through each one and move it. So give me to the end of the day and I'll get at least the first month straightened out. Yeah. Yeah, Miguel, my suggestion for everybody is just ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions, because there's so much information out there. And again, I love to share stuff. So let me know. I also saw a flyer right before class started about if you're thinking of transferring to Cal State Long Beach as a teaching person. I'll send that flyer out later today as well. Yeah. Okay, one more question. So you're good with that, Nicole? I can move those due dates and you just sit tight for a sec. One more question and we'll move forward. again, there are clubs for nearly anything. There's free money out there. There's free books out there. There's all kinds of stuff. So I want to make sure that, and anytime we have events on campus, please attend. Because sometimes there's like killer swag. There was a bunch of stuff for Black History Month, and it was really cool. We had dancers and food and coffee. I was like, yes. So please come, because I'm here on campus and I would love to see you guys face to face. One more question. Let me see if I can find. Let me stop the share for a second. I'm going to see if I can find the syllabus, and we'll get moving over to the syllabus, because the PDF is not helping right now. Okay. I think this is it. Hold on. I think this is it. No, it is not. Where is my syllabus? Okay, I'm still waiting for one more question as I'm pulling up the syllabus. I have to pull it off of Office 365. Okay, just making sure. There we go. No, hold on. Hold on, let me double check. Questions on tech, questions on Canvas, questions on, oh, I can sort of plant a seed for you guys. Do you guys know how to access the instructional calendar for the campus? Like, how do you know when, oh yeah, this is it right here. How do you know when there's holidays? Because there is a holiday this month. How do you know when certain things are scheduled? Okay, so let me make this bigger, open the chat. We are not meeting in person. Okay, so yeah, that's a great question. I was kind of waiting for that one. Okay, thank you for wrapping that one, the questions up, so we can move forward. Okay, so because the format has changed, and we're not meeting in person. However, if they give us a green light, I might give us some optional times in our classroom. I have a classroom right over here full of stuff, and like it's heartbreaking to not see you guys. And so it's always nice to, yeah, if we can, I'd like to, but it's still going to be optional. If we can, I'd like to, and I'll keep you guys posted. Is that fair? Yeah, is that fair? If we can meet online, I mean, if we can meet face to face, I would love to. I'm the only, there's two of us in our department. I'm the only one who's like on campus, and that's why I wanted face to face. Last semester, I did 2 face-to-face hybrid classes with masks on, yeah. But I could tell you at the end of those classes, I had less than 10 people. That many people dropped. So we can only really sustain classes that people are willing to enroll in, right? And our goal is usually 20, 30, 40 students. 7 is not like the goal. So they told me, you may not have any online face-to-face classes unless there's a demand for it, right? I can't, I'm basically doing what you guys want, right? And not everybody wants, the Zoom stuff. We try to make it as dynamic as possible. Okay, so let me share this syllabus. This is the calendar. Well, let's start at the top. And the calendars are too. The formatting is a little funky because, again, I'm in online Office 365, but it looks nice and pretty when you download it. All syllabus have to have the mission statement, the class information. The best way to get a hold of me is through the Canvas inbox or Pronto now that class has started. I know a lot of times people email me in my email, but here's the trick. If you email me in Canvas, it goes to my email and Canvas. So wherever I'm at, I get it. Course description, student learning outcomes, this tells you what we're learning and what I have to measure in this class, like the development of children, the historical context that children are developed in, developmental theory. There's our book, it's free. what to expect. I'm not a big point grade grubby person, but I know a lot of people are focused on points. Points doesn't tell me what you've learned. Points tells me how many points you got for showing me what you learned. I'm more involved in what's showing me what you learned. I do believe in application. So if we learn something about toddlers, and I'm going to ask you in our journals every week, what is it about this, that in this chapter that you learned that you can use in your future, either as a parent, an auntie, an uncle, or a teacher, right? Because not everyone's having kids and not everyone's going to be a teacher, but how does this apply to you? You can say, oh, well, my cousin's going through this phase, or I remember when I was that young, blah, 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 right? Or I have a sibling, or I have a child, things like that. So to me, the practical application and how it connects to you is way more important than the points. Resilience focused education. I shared that a little bit about you with you. Always campus security and safety. Even if you're not here on campus, you can always call them and ask them things, especially if you're, again, protected under Title IX. That just means that nobody can really take advantage of you or abuse you or things like that. If you have a question about that, reach out. Educational support needs means that if you need extra support to be equitable in achieving your educational goals, we're here for that. I talked about Title IX. Also, we have a food pantry here. I know that they email you, but sometimes I'll put that in announcements too as a reminder of the food pantry. Also free bus passes and things like that here. Add drop procedures. I challenge you guys to figure out when these dates are. Like if you hung out in this class, but if you read my syllabus and my Canvas and you think that I am certifiably crazy and you need to drop the class, when can you do that and get your money back? I want you guys to do that for yourselves. Academic dishonesty says, don't cheat. Don't cheat. Don't cheat in my class. Don't cheat in any class. It is not worth it. It goes on your transcript. And then you can't, nobody's going to take you as a transfer student. Eek. Course policies, again, how to contact me. We talked about that. Attendance and participation. I do not grade attendance and participation. However, if you have missed like 7 full days on Canvas gives me a ton of analytics. I can tell on which day, which page you accessed and when, how many pages you access, how many minutes you're in there, how in comparison to the rest of your class, are you engaging with the discussion boards or even clicking on pages or. So after about 7 days, and I can see where somebody has not interacted with Canvas at all, 7 days is like the beginning of like, hey, what's up? People can have every right to take a week off. That's cool. You're an adult. However, that gives me a clue. Like if it goes past 7 days, it's a little bit harder to catch up. Not that hard, but right. Online etiquette, again, I'm saying, if we are in the online environment, we still need to, behave and act appropriately. Every once in a while, I will have somebody, again, underdressed, shall we say, and eating a big bucket of popcorn with like a bunch of family members in the back. I'm like, well, let's see if we can polish that up a little bit. Submitting assignments. If it's a written assignment, I do prefer APA. We're trying to standardize that here. I will give you guides and information on that, as well as the link to the library. Grading, I use a top-down grading policy, meaning like if there's something out of 10 points, like a quiz on an essay on an exam, I assume everybody's going for the 10 points. Then I start there and go, okay, well, this one was short and they didn't answer that question and they didn't read the instructions. And so I start with the 10 in mind. I know I've seen other professors go, well, it's a 0 until you prove to me. No, I do that. I'm pretty generous with points and extra points. I've given 15 out of 10 on an essay. If you do something awesome, again, do not plagiarize. Do not grab your opinion from the internet. That's an automatic. I can give you a 0 for the entire exam. If even out of that little slice of 10 points, you cheat on that, the whole 50 points is gone. Yeah, that's the campus policy. That's for every class. Whoosh, yeah. My late policy says I do not take points off for late work, with the exception of discussion boards. Those are due the week that they are assigned. So next week we have chapter 1. There's a chapter 1 discussion board. Do it that week. If it goes past that week, I just cut it off. It's not the end of the world. But everything else, let's say you're a little bit late on the quiz or the reflection or the notes, or even an exam, I'm okay. Just keep me in the loop. Say, hey, I need a couple more days on this, or X, Y, and Z. Okay. It takes people a few weeks to realize my policy. What do you mean I can be late? And what do you mean I'm not going to get points taken off? Just stay in contact with me and we're good. Every week we'll have outlines or notes, as we typically do Fridays at 8 o'clock. If you see an 8 p.m. in Canvas, that is a due date for me. That's how you know. If you see that 11:59, that's just, hey, read me. So if you see stuff on your grade sheet that says this is coming up, it's due at 8 p.m., you know that's an actual thing. You're turning that in. If it says, hey, this is coming up and it says 11:59, hey, that's just a click on that, read me. Okay. You will have a discussion board. I like to put activities in there. Let me put activities as a slash activity discussion board. Notice that the notes are 10 points. So you've taken me before, they used to be 5. I bumped them up because you guys are doing a lot of work on those. I will talk about what those look like when we go back to Canvas and module 1. The discussion board this is where you guys kind of replicate that piece where you were, if you were sitting in my class. And my class is not rows. My class is like table pods, which I totally love. People actually get to have conversations about things like that. Remember that if you wanted to start a conversation with somebody, would you start it all on one day and try to end it on one day? No. I can start getting really strict with that, but I prefer not to. But people do tend to wait on the discussion board till the very last day. That's not a discussion. That's a Twitter post. Hey, I have something to say. I'm going to write it and walk away. That's not what a discussion board is, right? So have a discussion. And if you actually ask your peer a question, answer the question and then come back, like have a discussion. Trust me, I love giving extra points. Love it. Love it. And then at the end of each chapter, there's a reflection. Each reflection has 3 parts, and I will show you what that looks like. What did I learn? 5 to 10 sentences. What stuck out to me? What was cool? What was weird? An additional resource that kind of ties into the chapter. So let's say we're learning about having a baby chapter, right? And it talks about the Lamaze method. But if you want to, there talks about 10 different methods of birthing a baby. Maybe you want to learn more about a different method. That's going to be that additional resource. Share that link. Give me 5 to 10 sentences. And then the last part of that reflection is, how will I use that? How does that apply to me? So 3 parts, 15 points, 5, 5, 5. And again, I have it all described with a rubric, and I'll show you what that looks like in Canvas in a minute. I did put these optional feedback surveys in there. Again, you can get 3 to 5 points extra every week if you would like to. These are our assignments. We're having an observation. You know what? I haven't decided. You know what? This one I'm going to take out right now. Take this one out right now. There we go. Just took out one assignment because we have we have one last month. Usually when we have 4 months, 16 weeks, I have 1 assignment per month. This one, we have 3 months. Maybe 3. The observation, I give you guys opportunities to do it on videos, to do it in person, or to do it on if you have a child in your bubble. I select some videos, or you guys can show me what you have. Like you could even do it at work before or after shift. Again, I have a very extensive description, and we'll talk about that as we get closer. Lifeline project is due at the end. That is putting together a PowerPoint presentation of you and this class, meaning 1 slide per chapter. So if we're talking about middle school, emotional, like, emotional chapter, middle school emotional chapter, do you guys remember what it's like to be in 6th, 7th, 8th grade and have emotions? I bet you do. So you're going to have 1 slide and you're going to pick 3 terms that apply to you, maybe add some pictures. So again, I provide a template, I provide a walkthrough, I provide a video instructions, I provide 3 or 4 different examples of prior students who did a great job and maybe not did a great job. So it gives you ideas on where to go with that. The last piece is, of course, course summary portfolio, where you just put all your work together in an online portfolio. It's called Portfolium, and it is owned by the same people who own Canvas. Again, I will walk you guys through this. I actually separated that into 3 different sections, so it's easy to break this into meaningful goals, and it's not all bunched up at the end. I will roll these guys out in about 2 or 3 weeks, so nobody's like freaked out at the end. I want to give you guys as much time to do it methodically and have a really good productive piece at the end where you understand the entire class together. Assessments, fancy term for tests. So quizzes and exams. The quizzes are 5 points true false, 5 points multiple choice. pretty straightforward, super easy. Use your book. You can FaceTime a friend. Yeah, see, I mean, unlimited times, take as much time as you need, right? Look at this. The lowest quiz will be dropped at the end of the semester. Wait, what? Out of our 15 chapters, I drop the lowest one. Sometimes people don't do one. Sometimes people have a tech issue. Sometimes people just like lost it that week, and you get like a 4 out of 10. I drop that one. So again, this should not be 4 points should not be a barrier to success. I've had people say, "Oh my gosh, I got a 4 out of 10 on that quiz." I'm like, "Well, first of all, keep taking it." And they go, "Well, it just makes me think that I'm not doing good in this class, so I'm going to drop the whole class." Please don't do that. Don't do that. Life is full of second chances. So let's work on that together. Notice this green piece here. This lowest quiz will be dropped at the end of the semester. I also have that here. The lowest outline will be dropped at the end of the semester. The lowest discussion board will be dropped at the end of the semester. The lowest reflection. What? So that's 30, 40, 50 points. Wait, what? That means that for one whole week, for some reason, if your grandma's dog dies or your dog's grandma dies, like either one of those things are doable. You guys can still do good in this class. Don't drop the class just because you forgot something. That you see how I'm trying to set that up so you guys can still go at a meaningful pace that works with your life. That's the point of me doing all these things. So again, extra credit, we talked a little bit about that, and course points kind of plus or minus a little bit, just around 1,000. There's a lot here, but just know this first week can be up to 50 points. Yeah. So again, I have a very predictable schedule. I'm like, hey, this is our class. Come on in. Next week, we start module 1, and we'll still meet at Tuesday at 10:15. And then usually by Fridays, I'll make this a little bit smaller. Usually by Fridays, I figured Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can put notes together. Yeah. And I'll get more detailed on what the notes actually look like. But then by the end of the week, you're going to have a discussion board. You're going to have a reflection and a quiz. Now you can do all those early. You can do those on Saturdays. You can do those on Tuesdays, whatever your work schedule is all about. But it's the same. It's kind of the same thing. So this first unit, I do 1 chapter per week. Then we kind of have to double up after that. Okay. So I try to give us like a little easy, like a good start, a solid start. And then we have spring break, and then we come back and we're going to hit it. Okay. So this first unit is module 1, 2, and 3. We have an intro. We have, how babies are made and how babies are born. It's not rocket science. Guess what? You guys have already done all this stuff. You've already been a baby, right? So you've already experienced all these things. You just might not know the terms associated with it. And this is how you put those things together. Then we have spring break. Now, again, I don't assume people are going to work during that time, but if you need to get ahead or catch up or whatever you need to do that. I also believe, again, in taking a rest and self-care, but again, maybe a little bit of both. Yeah. So then when we come back, you're going to see a different pattern. You're going to see for each age that we study, this first age, look at this. This is like pre-human, pre-humans right here. For this age, there's 3 chapters. For every age, there's 3 chapters. So this one is all about infancy and toddlerhood. So 0 to 3, usually 0 to 2, 0 to 3, somewhere in there. So we'll have the same pattern over and over again. And I want to show you this. Physical development, cognitive development, social emotional development. Now these first 3 chapters have to do with littles, right? So 0 to 3s, physical, cognitive, social emotional. Then after that, we change the age. We get a little bit older. We do toddlers, like early childhood, which is like your 3 to 6, 3 to 7, maybe 3 to 8. I don't split hairs on these times because kids, we have these developmental milestones, and some kids are ahead and some kids are behind, right? So then you're going to see again here, physical. Physical. Then you're going to see cognitive, and then you're going to see social emotional. Now, typically in the past, I've had students say to me, the physical development of a person and their brain development, their cognitive development as a person, those things kind of go together for me. So that's why I put those together. And the social emotional means our emotions, right? If social emotional development, people go, but little babies, they only like laugh and cry. There's a lot more going on in there. So I did combine the body and the brain together and kept emotion separate. It's a lot. It's a lot. So from here on for the rest of the semester, think of it as this way. You have basically 2 weeks to do 3 chapters. And again, if it makes more sense to you to put everything module 4 due on that first Sunday and then do 5 and 6 together on the second Sunday, I'm okay with that as well. Right? I didn't want to say, here's 3 chapters in 2 weeks. I thought that was a little bit more confusing. But this is how I roll things out. And again, I'm comfortable if you would like me to roll out 4, 5, and 6 at the same time. It's a unit. Okay. Then we move up to after early childhood, we do middle childhood. This is like 3rd grade through 6th grade, right? Middle childhood. It's the part where you guys start remembering. Oh yeah, when I was 10, that's when I started. I fell in love with soccer. Or, oh, I remember being in choir in the 6th grade. Like sometimes when we're toddlers and like little ones, we don't always remember. But as you get older, like, oh yeah. A lot of who we are have been determined by like who we are when we were 10. Yeah, we'll talk a lot about that. I love this. And then at the end, we have teenagers. And so I have a teenager at home. So I love to I always tell him, hey, would you like to guest speak in module 13 because it's puberty? He's like, Mom, you're the worst. I'm like, yes, I am. I love it. He literally told me we were walking into somewhere the other day. He said, now don't embarrass me. I was all, shall I bring my A game? No, I won't. Not on purpose. I don't want to embarrass him on purpose. I'm just naturally embarrassing. So if you see the pattern, we start with pre-humans right here. Then we move into 0 to 3. Then we do the early childhood. This is like K, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Maybe, yeah, up to maybe 3rd grade. And then we do like 4, 5, 6th grade, which is like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. Now, I don't split hairs on those dates, so those ages, because some kids are ahead of the game, some kids are behind the game. I just talk about that age, and then we talk about those dimensions or those lanes. So the physical development, cognitive development, social emotional development. How is this sitting for you guys? Does it make sense? Yeah. Now, again, my job today is I'm going to match up all these dates with the Canvas calendar. How's that sound? Yeah, I will do that today. Now here's my only warning is some of you who did your settings in Canvas to get a notification every time I change a due date. You might want to shut that off for the next 2 weeks, because even if I drag and drop on the calendar from one day to the next, you're going to get a notification. And I'm going to be moving about 30 things. So you might get 30 notifications. It's a little annoying. So just be aware of that. Just be aware. So now that we've seen this syllabus, let's go back to module 1. Now, real quick, here's your opportunity to co-create your universe here in this class. Please put your vote in the chat on whether you want me to click this right here and let you guys have access to chapter 1, module 1, or is that too overwhelming for right now? Let me know. And I'll just keep walking you guys through it. Okay, so every chapter is going to have an intro. And yes, I'm like the nerd herd that makes my own graphics. I certainly do. This tells you what the goals for the chapter is. This kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing this week. Again, read the chapter, read the content, watch the videos. I try to keep the videos short, meaningful, and fun, right? Then you have notes. I did put Wednesdays here, but Friday, I think I moved them to Fridays. And then theory to practice, which is like a discussion board. I call it theory to practice because it kind of is. Again, by Sunday. The chapter on general reflection by Sundays, and the quiz by Sundays. Oof. And then the anonymous or optional feedback. Yeah. So that you're going to see that as an intro for every chapter. Just keep clicking next, and then you're going to see the reading. So I gave you the big link for the book, but here's the link for just the chapter. Make sense? And then these are the sections that we're going to go through this chapter. Sometimes I'm a little repetitive, but it's kind of like I'm walking somebody through. Okay. Now you're going to see all these separations, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So what I do, I made that graphic. This 3C media is what they share with us, like the author shares with us. And then if there's any additional videos, I would put it right here. But this one is so basic. Like you'll see, like maybe this is like this much reading. It's like a half a page, is like nothing. And so then also, again, they provided a video. Again, I can't go onto YouTube and say periods of development because it doesn't match our book. So if you see a YouTube video, it means it's something that does match our book. Issues in development. We'd like to talk about, you know, again, the child's brain, the body, their emotions, right? Things like that. So again, I just walk you guys through it. Sometimes the video is the same video on multiple sections because she covers 4 different things in one video. Again, more PowerPoints. Again, PDF versions. I try to give you both versions. Research methods. This is how we get to those information. And here's where you're going to start seeing videos that I added from YouTube. Now, sometimes these videos say like they're blank. You can't do anything about it because like the owner of that video removed it or made it private. But look at this, developmental theories. This is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to talk about a bunch of different people who come up with developmental theories for child development. We've heard of Freud. If not, here's a quick video. And if Freud comes up in other chapters, I might use this exact same video because he's talking about multiple ages. Yeah. So sometimes the beginning of this video applies to this class and this chapter, and sometimes it's the middle and sometimes it's the end. So things do get a slight bit repetitive, but I figured it's better to cover all the bases slightly more than not enough. I don't want anybody ever wondering, where is that information and how do I find it? And she didn't share it. It's like, no, I shared it, maybe a little extra. Erik Erikson is the next stage. Hint, I love this guy. Was talking to my girlfriend who was in her master's program for becoming a therapist. She's like, oh, we're doing Erikson. I was all, Erikson's man. Erikson did it right. Well, Freud can be a little bit out of there. Yes, it's a psychosexual. Freud can be a little, I think Erikson's a little bit more understanding, and he talks from birth to old age, where Freud only talks from birth to age 8. Something about that. Then we talk about Pavlov and Watson and Skinner and Bandura. Yeah, this is old stuff. Bandura just passed away last year, so it looks old, but it's not that old, right? Piaget, Vygotsky, Bronfenbrenner. And FYI, this is this entire theory right here is 110. When you come take child development 110 with me, we spend the entire semester on this one theory because it's that good. Yeah. So that is pretty much your reading for chapter 1. Then we move into the notes and the outline, and I give you guys a lot of information here. You can do any sort of format here. Let's see. But here's the rubric. So let's go here. So some people, when they outline or take notes, they're going to handwrite it. Great. No big deal. But just realize when you handwrite, it's longer. If you type it, it could be Roman numerals, it could be bullets, it could be the definitions, however you're comfortable. Some people are super creative and they want to do Zen doodles or a mind map or graphic design. I'm cool. But I'll show you the rubric so you know how to make sure it's proper. That's going to maximize your points, but at the same time, give you enough time and your style to understand the materials. Okay. I made the outlines 10 points, so let me update that. So 10 points, you guys get a little bit more points for your effort. I accept different formats, but I can't accept dot pages. Canvas doesn't do it. I can't do it. So every once in a while, like Mac OS, like you guys kind of got to turn it into some sort of like PDF or something like that to send that in. So here's our rubric. So if you're going to type it, it has to be single space, at least 2 pages, right? That's an outline for a chapter. Let's see, handwritten 4 pages. And then if you're going to do a graphic version, it's 1 page in color. Yeah. So did you do that? Is it spell checked? Can I read it? Is it legible? Right? And is it accurate? So every once in a while, sometimes people will get creative with the facts. Don't do that. So I will update this to say 10. Good. Okay, questions in the chat. Yes. Okay, so here's our voting. I only have 2 people who say go for it. Should I just go for it? Just let you guys see chapter 1 all the way? I'll think about it. I'm thinking about it. Let's keep going. We're almost done with chapter 1 because first it's notes, then it's discussion board. So what I do is I'm suggesting for you guys to come up with your own theory. Don't give me all these old dudes. I don't think there's any women in there. It's like, wow. Okay, let's make up our own theory. You're going to read the theories and learn about the theories, and then you're going to combine 2 and call it your own theory. You're going to describe it to us, and then you're going to tell us what you would study with that. Right. So like in my home, I have an adopted child of mixed race. So for me, I'm always curious about the nature versus nurture. And so I would create something using one theory and another theory, put it together, call it something. And I would say, I would like to study adopted children who are adopted by people who are not of the same culture. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And then which research methods? Well, would I interview people? Would I do a survey? Would I do a double blind study? Would I do an anecdotal? Would I do a lifelong? So again, all this right here is what you guys have for the week. Again, since this is not due next week, you can kind of get a jump start on it, right? What you do is you post by Wednesday so you guys can have that dialogue. And so between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you guys can kind of go back and forth. Make sense? Oof. So always respond to 2 other, always respond to 2 other or more, 2 or more other people. And again, all you do is hit reply. Yeah. So now after the discussion board, the last thing we have is the reflection journal. And then one more thing, sorry. So our reflection journal, here's our 3 sections. Reflect on what you have learned and give me 5 to 10 sentences. In this chapter, I learned X, Y, and Z, or this was confusing to me, or I've heard that before, and now I know what it is. Like that kind of 5 to 10 sentences. That's nothing. The second part is find an additional resource. Again, we sort of talk about epigenetics and how genetics can be looked at over generations. And you're like, well, that's interesting. Let me find out more about that. And then you go find a TED Talk or an article. Don't give me don't give me anything like not legitimate, right? Don't give me like an Instagram story. Like, unless your Instagram story is from the American Journal of Pediatrics, let's just keep it to something more legitimate. So I give you guys some suggestions here: an article, a website, a podcast, a book. Yeah, things like that. So let's say we're talking about trauma and resilience, and you're like, okay, well, I heard about this one. There's a place in Laguna Beach that does like dance away your trauma. Yeah, share that. Yeah, and why? Why does that make sense? So again, it's 5 to 10 sentences each section. And then lastly, what would you do with this information in your family, community, current and or future career? Yeah. So 3 sections, 5 points each. It's up to 15 points. And again, did you write a minimum of 5 to 10 sentences? Did you do an additional resource? Did you connect, right? And can I read it? Did you spell check it? Is it professional? 15 points. Pretty straightforward, right? And lastly is the quiz. It's 10. It's so easy. And I hate saying that because I hate it when my professor would say that. Yeah, it's supposed to be easy for you. You're the professor. But I really wanted you to have, I take questions that are important, try to do one from each section. And then it's kind of like the quiz is like the prep towards the test. Yeah. And remember, each unit has 3 chapters. So we have chapter 1, 2, 3, and an exam. And 4, 5, 6 exam, 79 exam, right? So pretty straightforward, right? And I like how the old book was not exactly set up that way, but ours is. This one is now. So I think it's like a nice, doable, like hamster wheel. And so here we go. It's available. So what I tell people is that if you think this is too overwhelming for you, just start with notes. Just start with the notes. Take extra time with the notes. Take a couple days, write some notes. outline, however you want to do it, right? Yeah. What I've started to do for myself is like every certain day of the week. So like Wednesdays, hopefully you guys have posted your first discussion board. Thursdays, I'm grading those first. I can't grade the Wednesday, but I can comment. So I throw comments in on Thursday, and then I grade after the Sunday submission. Now, again, if everybody decided to be late on that day, I can't grade it. So, so just get those in when you can, and I grade when I can as well. Then after the quiz, you just have, there's a summary, and then here's that optional feedback. It's up to you. Wow. Whew. So we did a lot today. So for right now, I'll move this guy down. You guys have 4 modules open. One's just the book, one supportive information, take it or leave it. We're going to start here, and then you're going to move on to module 1. Everything in module 1 is due not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. Make sense? Everything in the start here is due this Sunday. I'll tell you right here. All right. Whew, we did a lot. We covered all the bases. How are you guys feeling with this? Like, let's I'm gonna look for the gallery. How about if I was in class, I usually like do the thumb meter, and I know here we only have the up thumb. Usually I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling okay about it, or I'm feeling like terrible about it. I can't really do that here. So how are you guys doing? Let's do a you guys pick an emoji, a word, anything like to describe how you're feeling with all this info. Good, bad, ugly, square, crunchy, wavy. I don't care. I want to see what you guys come up with. Cool. Teresa has a thumbs up. Good, good, good. Nicole, how are you feeling with all this? Itzel, L. If you're taking another class with me, good. Itzel, if you're taking another class with me, you're going to see Nicole. Good. My format's the same. It's just different content. Thank you, Ella. Because here's the thing is, again, that predictability, it helps all of our brains to know what's coming next. Do you guys know that? Children, adults, stress. If you know what's coming next, then you're not as stressed and you can process the information better. That's the goal of this class. It's not to just get through it, but actually make it make sense. Because again, everyone's was a child, and now we have children who are becoming college students. And this information is going to help you with your family, help you with future children, help you with coworkers. Yeah. So again, I feel very, very blessed to be talking about stuff that actually is something that applies to our every single day life. I'm not talking about a dead language or a dead culture or a theory, you know, right, of astronomy or astrology or whatever, right? Something. It's like we get to talk about stuff that's really, really human. Which discussion is due this week? It says discussion chapters 11 to do today. Let me move those due dates. The only one that's due Sunday is the one that says pictorial introduction. That's it. Yeah, but you can get a jump start on chapter 1. It's the theories. It's up to you. Make sense? Yeah, I'll try, like, I have another meeting, but I will try to move some due dates, like at least all the March stuff, get that cleaned up first, and then keep going. Sound good? Thanks for being flexible, because that's like the hardest part. It's like, I wish there was a way that I could just do it all at the same time, but now I got to do one at a time. Good. Whew. So this is a lot. I'm recording this, and you know, and I can stop the recording now, and then